All right, guys. Now I'm here with somebody I think most of you know, with actually my mentee, or used to be. Right now we're more friends and business partners, Iman. And today we're going to talk about mentorship in general, how I think I helped you and how you helped a lot of people and even helped me as well, of course. So maybe you can just introduce yourself real fast for people who don't know you, and then we'll get into it.
All right, guys. So my name is Iman Gaji. I am an 18-year-old high school dropout. Now, Bob and I met when I was 16. We kind of sort of built this mentor-mentee relationship, and then now, and I actually used to work for him for like €8 an hour. Literally, like started at the bottom with his help, very quickly scaled to 10K a month, and then here we are, like 18 months later or something like that. And seriously, guys, I cannot explain enough how much this guy helped me get from 0 to 10K a month and just get me out of the hellhole I was in before. So So the way that our relationship came about, now, it was actually quite interesting. Bob reached out to me after seeing a YouTube video that I put out that he just kind of resonated with. So he sent me over a DM, slid into my DMs, and he was actually coming to London, so he arranged a little like coffee workout, and then it just kind of like formed naturally. So we went, we had a workout. We met a few times after that. I had a bit of a jittery start. And then after that, the relationship just naturally formed. I actually worked for him for a little bit. So I'd be in class, like meant to be doing my work. And instead he'd be giving me stuff work to do for his company and paying me on the side. So that's kind of how the relationship formed. Anything else you want to?
No, I think that's basically what happened. And it's actually kind of funny. We were talking about it this morning, how much happened ever since, I actually sent you those files. You were in class sort of happy making 10 pounds and where we're at now. So I think that's what happened. And I think at first we had a plan to build some sort of an app, which was... that
was the first.
It's probably a good thing we didn't do that after all. But that's basically what happened. Yeah.
So that's how everything kind of just came about in the first place. Now, main question people have is, how do I actually get a mentor? So I'll answer that my own way, but it would be interesting to hear your opinion.
Yeah. All right. Actually, I think it's not the easiest question to answer, to be completely honest. How do you find a mentor? I mean, there are several ways, but the one thing that I believe is always important is the way you approach someone. So I get a lot of messages, just like you, for people who want to have mentorship. And if you even want to get my attention, you have to show a bit of value first, right? You have to show that you don't have the taker's mentality. Because if you're I actually get DMs or messages from people who say, hello, please make me rich. Or hello, mentor me so I can be rich. I mean, if that's your mentality and if that's the way you're going to approach me, then I'm not going to reply. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to show that you're willing to provide value, that you're willing to invest your time. And everything is based on why you're doing that. And if the why is good, if I can resonate with that, I guess, and relate to that, then there's options. And I know there's a lot of people who offer mentorship programs, which is of course always an option. But again, even if you want to be mentored by a successful person, even if you want to pay for it, you still have to provide value. You still have to see that it's worth the mentor's time, because if you've done it in the past, I still do it, paid mentorship things, but you only pick people you believe will really be willing to work, willing to do whatever it takes, and know sort of how the world works, I guess.
All right, so my sort of approach to it is, first of all, in terms of the whole mentor thing, understand that the whole mentor thing, the frame of it isn't, unless it's a paid, like, and I'll get onto that, unless it's like a paid program, it's not like a weekly sit down, it's literally like, a mentorship is literally just like a friend. It's like having like a older brother or like a father figure. It's not what people think it is. It's not like today's curriculum, I'm going to impart this week's wisdom on you. It's just like a mentor is just having someone looking out for you. That's really all it is. And the cool thing is with a mentor, you'll get to a point where like you guys go from like sort of mentor role and stuff like that to just friends. Like, after I'd say probably around the first 6 months, we just became like friends and equals and business partners. And that's that's so cool because this person helps bring you up, and then once, for example, Bob, once he helped bring me up, because he really did. I attribute probably like 95% of my success going from 0 to 10K a month to him and having him there for me. But then once he pulled me up, now I can help pull him up in digital marketing, and he can help pull me up in this other sphere. And it's just like, in the fact that he's been an entrepreneur for 15 years and I've only been an entrepreneur for like 2 years. So then you guys can kind of start like bouncing off of each other, and that's when it gets like really exciting. Yeah. But in terms of getting a mentor, two things there. First of all, he said you have to provide some sort of value. Now, the issue is, first thing, if you have money, this is what you do. I was listening to a podcast by Craig Ballantyne, if you guys know who that is. And I was listening to a podcast by him, and he was interviewing someone, and the guy said, best thing you can do is whoever it is that you want to associate with, send him an email, go, look, I'm going to write a check, and all I ask is that when I send you an email, just prioritize my email. That's literally all I ask. And make sure that the check is an amount that stings, but that won't kill you. Right. So after after listening to that, I signed up to his $5,000 mastermind for literally one day. And today I'm about to write another check. I'll fill you guys in on that for 30, 40, 50. I have no idea. Depends how the call goes, but 30, 40, 50,000, literally just for a program, right? And to get in on a group, because whatever that amount is, if I could go back now, like when you met me, I had like zero money. So that wasn't an option. But the thing is, if you have any sort of money, just cut a check that stings but that won't kill you, just to be in the vicinity of someone who is successful. Okay? Now, if you don't have any money, kind of like me, you have to provide some sort of value in a different sense. Now, look, there's always things, for example, Bob, like he may have the finances sorted, but there's something else he may not have sorted out, right? So, for example, not to particularly name any names or anything like that, like you just came to an agreement recently with someone in terms of the creative realm. That's something you don't know how to do. So it's all it is value arbitrage. You're giving him, you're looking out for him as a mentor, and he's giving you that sort of like, bringing over his creative side and stuff like that. Once again, if someone came to me, like, 3 hours ago, I just had a tennis class. If someone came to me and went, look, Iman, I will teach you how to play tennis. I've been a pro at tennis for whatever, or like I can teach you tennis. I've been playing tennis for a decade now, right? All I ask is that you arrive 15 minutes early, and every time we play tennis, you give me 15 minutes of knowledge on, how do I monetize this? Or if you're a personal trainer, that's another thing you can do. Look, I'll personal train you. For example, I had someone who's personal training my mom now, because I gave her so much value. So she personal trains my mom, and then in return, I give her some of my programs and some of my knowledge and look out for her. So all it is value arbitrage. Okay, so that is a way that you can start to, if you don't have the finances are always the easiest way, but if you don't have the finances, that's a way that you can get within that circle. So, there's a lot of importance placed on mentors. So my question to you would be, do you think it's true? Like, do you think they're undervalued, overvalued, or where do you think they are on the spectrum?
Okay, I do think it's getting some sort of a trend, and it's getting, everybody is talking about mentors, but I do actually believe that everybody needs a mentor. It doesn't really matter where you're at in your life in general, or in your business life, but I think it's very good for a couple of reasons. First of all, and that's what we still do, is, when you're working on something, on your business, and you're working, really, really hard, it's so easy to sort of get lost and get tunnel vision. And if you just have somebody who looks at what you're doing, and every now and then says, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? This is like a roadmap. So I think that's like one very important part, wherever you are in your career. At the same time, I do believe that if you have a mentor who's more experienced and has made mistakes, has been through the whole startup process, has been through the growth with his business, he can really help you and prevent you from making those mistakes, and probably make sure that what would normally take 2-3 years would now maybe even be a couple of months. Just because, I think I told you once that I will see you make mistakes and I will let you fail at times, because I think it's important, but not to a degree where, you sort of have to start again, or you get, you go bankrupt, for example. Because we all make mistakes and you have to learn from it, and that's all true. And of course we say, make mistakes, fail to get back stronger, but let's be honest, if you can prevent the big mistakes, I think that's a very important thing. And again, I have actually been talking to a business coach lately, and I think, it's not saying that it's actually a woman, so it's not, we keep saying him or he, but there's very good mentors, female mentors as well. I wouldn't say she's more successful, for example, but she's just really straight to the point, and actually tells me, like, Bob, you're doing this, we agreed you should focus on this, because, for example, I know my problem is I see so many opportunities that I want to do 200 things at the same time. So she just says, don't do it, focus on what we agreed on, and then move on. So is it overrated? I do think it's sort of everybody's trying to offer mentorship right now, even if they're just starting as an entrepreneur. But I do think it's very, very important for anyone, and not only in business, but personal level as well.
I think you need to get coaches and mentors in anything you do. You know, so for example, you have a meditation coach. I'm currently looking around for a meditation coach to come on 2 times a week. I have obviously like a tennis coach. You know, I've got business coaches, digital marketing coaches, Facebook ad specialists. Like, you literally need a coach for everything. And look, at the end of the day, I think the only time you wouldn't get a coach or a mentor, like the only reason not to get one is you just don't believe in yourself. Because at the end of the day, like, guys, even today, I'm about to write a check for 30, 40. It's going to be really expensive, right? It's still dependent on the call. But the reason I write a check for 30, 40, $50,000, the amount someone makes in an entire year just to get some information from someone, is because I think I'm getting the better deal. I don't care if I write a check for $50,000. I'm going to get $1 million of knowledge from that. Who cares if you pay $5,000 a month for a coach? Like, the only, look, all it comes down to is ROI. So whenever I look at a coach or a mentor, I go, is the information I'm going to get from this, is that going to be worth more than I'm putting in, right? So if I'm paying $5,000 for a day's coach from someone, I look at, in a year's time, what's the ROI on that? In 2 years' time, what's the ROI? In 3 years' time, what's the ROI? And the funny thing is, even, you know, one of the masterminds I'm going to, I even told the guy, I'm like, look, I'm not paying this amount of money for the knowledge. I'm paying this amount of money because I know who you know and I want to know them, right? And this is a sign that I'm serious, right? Even the amount of people that I've introduced to Bob and the amount of people that Bob's introduced to me, it's like that's another aspect of having a mentor and someone there backing you up, is their network is your network now. So
what I just want to add, and I sort of said this, I completely agree with you, like on every aspect, but do your research when, you know, you're hiring a coach or you're hiring a mentor, because as I said, like, I know people who make maybe £100 $100 a month, and they say, oh, no, I can mentor you and share my success. So do a bit of research, because, you know, a good mentor is worth like 10 times the money you're going to pay him or a coach. A bad one is just going to, you know, make you sort of lose your faith in mentors and coaches, and you're just going to waste money. So I think that's very, very important. And, you know, yeah, you're going to write a pretty big check right now. But again, you know, it's all about where you're at, and you'll get better coaches every time. And they will help you get to that level. And as you said, now we sort of just help each other. And I think that's the importance of like a mentor. I've always said that, you know, even when you weren't at the level you are at now, I was already learning from you, because just, you know, you are from like the next generation. You know so many more things about, you know, the digital landscape right now. So I could immediately start learning. So I think it's always a win-win, and you should definitely get one.
So we've talked about the benefits of mentor, the actual structure of mentorship. We've talked about how to actually get a mentor, and guys, as I said, seriously, the easiest way is just like cut a check. Like, that at least shows them that you're serious, and then from there, honestly, you'll probably build a strong enough relationship that they won't charge you there on after. People I have good relationships with, I don't charge them, because at that point I see them as on my level, or an associate or a friend. So guys, that's how you go about it. Is there any last things about mentorship in general that you want to touch on?
I think we discussed most. I just want to emphasize what he says. Yes, a mentorship, because we never paid. Right? You never paid me.
No.
And, you know, I've done that more often, because, as you say, it becomes like a friendship, and you help each other. But it only, and just we've said it 5 times, 10 times. You only get to that level if you actually show that you're willing to, basically willing to share value. Now, actually, Mark Twain once said, you know, there's the 2 most important days in your life is the day you get born and the day you find out why you were born. I think that's sort of what a mentor can help you with as well. He can sort of help you, you know, find like the reason why you're doing this, because so many people are still so focused on, you know, I'm doing this because I want to become rich. And as soon as you evolve past that and evolve like, okay, I want to do this because, you know, and actually find the reason. For example, I mentor people because I really enjoy helping people. I really like to see people, you know, sort of open. You can see their eyes opening up, and you can see them growing as a person. And
he talks about this a lot.
I talk about this a lot, and I really, really like that. And that's why I do it. Not because someone might pay me, but I actually really enjoy that. And I think you have gone from at first a bit, okay, I need money, which just makes sense because you had no money, to actually, having a vision and knowing where you want to go. And I think a mentor helps with that. And I think that's one of the most important things in your life. And again, not just business, on any side there is.
And probably one thing to keep a mentor, especially if you're not paying them, just do what they fucking say. Like, if they tell you to do something and you don't do it, that is the number one best way to make sure that they're never going to mentor you again, right? The reason, I'm sure even with Bob, like the reason, we got into mentorship, obviously, like, I used to work for him for like 8 euros, like an hour, like 10, 15 euros an hour, which he was still overpaying me because he could have gone someone else abroad to do for like 2 euros, which is nice. But, the reason, like, I think he kind of like stuck around was because like he'd tell me to do something and then I'd just do it. And then that was like exciting for him. Like he'd watch me kind of like come up and move up the ranks. And then that was like that was fun. Like it didn't feel like work anymore. So yeah, guys, that's that. Like, if you actually want to keep a mentor, just do what they say and just don't question it.
Yeah.
So guys, on that note, I've got some really, really, really exciting news. So the Maria Mastermind event, first one, obviously you guys saw the highlights from that. Second one, entirely booked out in less than a day. So I actually had to open one up 5 weeks later. So we've got another one coming up 5 weeks later. This is the 7th, 8th of July. Now, once again, demand for the second event, the 2.0 event, completely booked out. So the third one, we've already got 2 spots filled up. So we only have 1 more spot available, except this time it is with the OG. The OG is going to be there as well. We're doing an entirely new curriculum for the first 2 events. And Bob's really going to, you can kind of touch on your plans for working more kind of intimately with the
Yeah, basically what I really want to look at is where are you right now and where with your business, for example, and what's the thing holding you back. So I really want to go more into specifics, and as a group we can sort of solve each other's problems. That will be part of it. And very, very, again, I hope we can find out why you're doing something, and just I think I'll go over the business in general, the whole business side, how you can really be have the most efficient business, the structure, which I always find very important. And then second day, of course, we'll move to you, and you'll do what you're good at.
All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link in the description. You can go ahead, you can sign up, just fill in your information. You'll get sent a survey that'll get sent to my assistant. She'll sift through all of that, and then if it feels like you're a good fit, you can expect to hear from me soon. And guys, 7th, 8th of July, make sure you're there. 2-day event here at the crib. And any final words?
Well, it was a pleasure being on your channel again. Let's start with that. I'm really happy, I could hopefully share some value, and I hope to see you guys in July.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.